Hello everybody and welcome back. I am going to be starting a new project today, so I was going to bring you along with me. I am supposed to be working on some old projects that I have, but nope, not today. We're going to start a new one. I had a layer cake, and this one is called Grand Haven by Moda, but you can use any layer cake to do it. This is the block we're going to use, that we're going to make, and it's just repetitive. We're going to do the same thing over and over again, and sometimes I like that, and today is that day. So I'm going to keep making these over and over. Here's one. Here's another. I've already made some of them. All of mine are red, whites, and blues. And so I've made these to start with, and then I'm going to show you how to make them. What we're going to start with to make this block is a layer cake. And you can use any layer cake you want. And then you'll need a background fabric. Like I used my white. I used star. See the stars in there? I don't know if you can see it good on the camera, but see the stars? So mine is a tone-on-tone white. That's what I'm using for my background. You can use whatever you want, of course, but also when you get a layer cake, there's 42 squares in the layer cake, and they all coordinate. Like all mines are red, white, and blues on this one. Well, it also had some not so red, white, and blue. These were creams. Since my background is white, now you do whatever you want to do, but since my background is white, I didn't want a lot of creams in mine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold these cream pieces aside, and I'm going to use those for another project. So what I'll do when I get back to the shop is I'll just grab a few pieces of whatever I've got back in the scrap bin, as long as it's a 10-inch square and it's a red, white, or a blue of any sort that blends with these. I'm going to throw those in this mix too. So you don't have to stay with just the one layer cake if you don't want to. And if you don't want to use a layer cake, just use 10-inch squares of scraps, whatever you want to use. But these are the pieces I'm using. So we're going to go down to the cutting table and I will show you how to start assembling this block. Step number 1 is to align two pieces together, a background and a layer cake square, and right sides together. Then I'm going to stitch a 1/4 inch on this side, and I'm going to stitch a 1/4 inch on this side. So just these two sides will get a stitch line on them. So I'm taking it over to the sewing machine. I'm going to stitch my 1/4 inch. Then I am going to cut my thread, turn it around and do the other side. And then I'm going to cut my thread again. Now I've got this piece that has the stitch line on both sides. Now we're going to start cutting. We're going to take it to the cutting mat, and I've got my stitch line here and here. So I want to cut diagonally right across here. I'll go from corner to corner. My stitch lines are over on the sides, and then I'll cut diagonally down that line. And what I've got is two pieces like this. And what I'm going to do next is iron them open. I'll do the same thing with the other one. And sometimes when you do this, actually I think all the times I did this, these two pieces will be attached just a little bit. It's just by one stitch. Just take them out, open. So now I've got two pieces like this. I'm going to line them up like this, put them right side together, grab my pins, and then I'm going to go to that middle seam. And I'm going to line those seams up so that I can see that they're straight and lined up. Roll it to the top, making sure they're lined up. And I'm going to pin it. Then I'll lay it back down, and I'll go from one side to the other. And I'll make sure that that's lined up, and I'll pin it. Same thing to this side. Make sure it's lined up, and pin it. Then I'm going to take it back over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch down this side at a 1/4 inch. way down this side, making sure it still stays lined up. Cut that thread, and then I'll iron this open. And it looks like this when it's done. Now you got a better view. It looks like this when it's done. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my ruler. Now, it's easiest if you do this on a rotating cutting mat. The one I've got here at the house is a round one, and it's not quite big enough for my liking for this size of a block. So I am getting another one. It's coming in tomorrow, actually. So I will start using it then. But for right now, I've got this one. And I want to show you, let me turn it to the right side, how big this block is right now. So this block measures 13 by 13 right now. Now what we're going to do, we don't care about the lines on this. I don't. You can do it however you want to do it. But I need to cut 3 inches off this side and 3 inches off this side. So I'm going to line this ruler up. There's my 3-inch line, that green line. Line it up all the way down the side. And I'm going to cut just like that. Then I'm going to carefully turn this mat. It's a self-made rotating cutting mat. Then I'm going to line this side up with the 3 inches. Make sure it stays flat, doesn't move. And then cut this side 3 inches. Then I'll rotate it again and I'll do these two sides at 3 inches. So I will line that up, cut there, do it one more time. You could do it all the way around one at a time, but this is the way I like to do it. And this is why a rotating cutting mat is perfect, because I wouldn't have to fix that again. But here you go. Now we're going to line it up again at the 3-inch line. And now all my pieces are cut. Let me show you what they look like. They look like this. Now what I'm going to do now is I need to turn this way. And what I want is I want to make it easier on you to know what you're looking for. You want color to match white. You don't want color on color. Like I don't want this color hitting this color. So I want color on white. That means these are correct and these are correct, but these aren't because these colors are touching. So I want this one to go up and to the right. I want this one to go up and to the left from this angle. And I want this one to go down and in, down and in. So these are up and in, those are down and in, and then that's what your block's gonna look like. Now we're just gonna take it piece by piece like we always do and sew these pieces together. So I'm gonna take this piece to this piece, right sides together, line them up, stitch a 1/4 inch, and to save time and thread, I'm gonna keep going and just stitch this next one. Line it up, stitch a 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to grab the next piece. This one should be in and down, so I'm going to put it right sides together, stitch this at a 1/4 inch, then I'll cut those threads. And I'll iron these pieces open. this one, just like that. So they're back to the way they're supposed to be. And this side's sewn together. I need to add these to it. So I'll flip this on that side, right sides together. Stitch down this side. I'll do the same thing with this one. Line it up. Stitch down this long side for the middle block. Same thing with the last one. And then I will cut them apart and iron these pieces open. There's my top one. Actually, there's my top one. There's my bottom one. And there's my middle one. So now my block looks like it did before. And I'm just going to take these rows and put these rows together. So I'll lay this one. I'm going to get this out of my way for right now. I'll take my pins and line these seams up, right sides together. Then I'll pin that piece in place. I'll do the same thing over here. Line those seams up. Roll them to the top. And then pin them. And now I need to make sure that this stays where it needs to be. This one's a little bit too low actually. There. That fixed that. And I'm going to stitch down this side. Take my pins out as I go. I put my pins in a little low so that if I forget or if I get to it too fast or whatever, I don't roll over that pin. So if you see me taking that pin out after the fact, it's because it's low anyway and it won't hit it. Okay. Now I iron this open. And this is what I've got. Flip it over and I put this one on. Let's see. This was my top and this is my bottom. When you're putting them together, just always remember white to blue, white to blue. Nothing's there's no, like if I put it this way, it's going to be wrong because blue's touching blue. I want white touching blue. Everything's good. So then I stitch this one on. Same way I did this last one that we just put together. I'll line those seams together, roll it to the top and pin it. Line those up, pin it, and then take it to the machine and stitch down this side. And then my next step is to iron this side, this seam open, so it lays flat. And then my block is done. And that is how easy this block is. We're going to do one after the other after the other. Now, what I have found is easiest is, for me, you do it your way, but for me, I have found, I did a lot of them already, that I like to do it step by step. So I've already sewn all of my white pieces to my colored pieces, right sides together. I've got all these ready to go. And then what I'll do is I will, let's see if I got one over here. Then I will take them all to this state. So when they all get to this step, after that step, then I'll do them one by one and do those blocks and move the white to the blue and that kind of thing. But to me, it's easier to do all those straight lines on the sides. Then it's easier to take them all to this step. And then I break them into the rows and the pieces and I do them one block at a time. I hope that helps. I hope you do this with me. It's going to be a fun quilt to put together. And it's so many ways that you can put this one together. Let me show you some. Okay, I'm sure there's some that I'm not even thinking of. But here is one block. And here is one block. So right now I've got, let me get my stuff out of the way. I've got white touching blue. And then down here, white touching red. And color touching white. I can do them like that. And it looks like a pinwheel in the middle, which I can't decide which way I'm going to put mine together yet, but I really like that pinwheel creation right there. So I'm thinking that might be my way. Or you can do it where you have all the whites touching and all the coloreds touching. So there's my coloreds, there's my whites, and it does like that. And then it makes like a flying geese in the center. See, I'm going this way. So, and I'm sure there's more ways. You could sash them. You could do lots of things with this one. But I think, as of right now, I think I'm going to do that pinwheel creation. I haven't really decided. I haven't really decided exactly how I'm going to put my blocks together, but I'm going to finish these blocks, and then I'm going to lay them out either on the design wall or on a bed or a floor or somewhere wherever I can see them all laid out and see which way I like them when I get all of them laid out and decide how I'm going to put mine together. But I wanted to show you how to make this block so that if you wanted to make it as well, if you have a layer cake at home, if you have some scraps at home, you too can make this block. And I hope you have fun with it. So I'm going to keep working on this block until this quilt is done, and then when I get it done, I'll show it to you. But for right now, I'll be doing this for a little bit. So I hope you guys have a great day. And oh, I gotta tell you one thing. We went to see my son today, and he lives a couple cities down from us. And so we went to see him, and afterwards we went to the store. Well, while we were at the store, a lady named Miss Coleman stopped me and caught me off guard. She said, "Are you the lady that sews?" And it caught me off guard, like, is she thinking from the shop? Is she thinking from YouTube? I'm not really sure what she was thinking at the point, so I was trying to process what was going on. And she said, "I watch your videos," and it was so sweet. We talked to her for just a few minutes. She didn't have a lot of time, and so we talked to her for a few minutes, which was really fun, really sweet. And I just wanted to tell you, this has happened before to us. We were at Collinsville Trade Days, and Miss Keela Eldridge came up to me and did the same thing, caught me off guard. But we got a nice conversation and met her and met Miss Coleman today, and it was so sweet. And I just want to tell y'all thank you, because it is so fun for that to happen. Because you sit here and you do all these videos and you think, is anyone watching it? Is anyone really paying attention? Or are they just scrolling through? Are they even in the room listening to it? Or are you just talking to the room? You know, you don't really know. But when someone comes up to you like that, it makes our day. So make sure, if you're watching anyone and you see them, make sure you tell them that. That is so sweet. Miss Coleman made my day today. So thank you, Miss Coleman, for stopping me in the grocery store. I appreciate that, and it was nice meeting you. If you're watching this, it was very nice meeting you. And, well, I guess that's it for today. So thanks again. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video if you haven't already. And, well, I guess I'm going to keep on going and making some more blocks. I got quite a few more to make. Until next time, you guys have fun. If you have any questions, reach out to me. If you need anything, reach out to me. I will help you in any way. And until next time, happy quilting.